Good day, YouTube. Today is Sunday. It's the 21st of January, 2018, and we are in the step van. Getting a little bit of work done today. Yesterday was Saturday, and I had some other things that I had to do. We didn't do any work on the step van yesterday, but I did buy some audio equipment. Had a little bit of fun of my own. So this morning I got busy and got the rest of the ceiling screwed in. I had put all this plywood up in a previous video, but today I came back and got all of it screwed in. Just the ceiling, however. Still got a little ways to go on the wall. Go towards the back. And then I started playing with the light placement. Let me get a little show and tell here. So remember these corners of the step van I've left open so I can run wiring in them. I had an idea to put like a 1x6 or 1x8 or something up here and make them hingeable so that I have access, and then put all of my LED downlights, cut them into sections of this, and maybe make it in 4-foot sections or something like that. As I was kind of eyeballing this a little closer this morning, I came up with another idea. What I think I'll do is cut some plywood in strips 7 inches and fix them in place, and we'll start right here by the door, this area above my controls and things, which will continue to evolve. There will be a lot more going in here. Exterior light switches, interior light dimmer, all that stuff will go into this switchboard, and this area above I will cover in a different method. But my lights on both sides of the step van will begin at the door, just behind the door, and we'll go this way, and then I'll break this strip in something less than 4 feet, see if I can get some little better light, in this area, and there'll be a gap, about 6-inch gap on both sides of that support for no particular reason, but a 6-inch gap. Then I have a spot here and a spot up there about 4 foot, and I can fish wire through there without having to disturb all of the lights. So I will just make a removable section at 6 inches and not put a light there that just comes out, so I can access and go this way or that way, and then there'll be another fixed section that'll have the lights in there, and I'll be able to fish that. I could just leave a fish wire in there, or like a dowel or something, and that'll work. So I'll have 3 fixed sections and 3 removable sections, and that's how I will gain access there. So I did actually cut up a bunch of plywood today in the rain on my table saw, and I have these ready to go, and they're 7 foot. I haven't cut them to length yet, but I need to get the proper hole saw, and so I can hole saw the lights in place too. The walls and ceiling will be carpeted, and then these will be probably upholstered, like in vinyl or something, just for a little contrast, and that should be pretty cool, in black or gray or maybe a contrasting color. I haven't decided yet, but that's what that's going to be. So speaking of walls and ceiling going to be carpeted, I went to the Lowe's store and got carpet. This is enough to do the ceiling times 2. It's not enough to do both the walls. In this drawer, I have a carpet sample. So this is the sample of the carpet. It's just an indoor-outdoor, kind of call it salt and pepper look. Mostly gray and black with a little bit of salt to it, and it'll just adhere with adhesive on the ceiling. I'll have the areas around the vents and the far sides that I could staple it, because staples will never show. Probably do something like that. So what I have to do now is I bought this 12 foot wide, 16 feet long roll of carpet. My ceiling space is just under 6 feet. It's about 5'9" to the edge of the plywood here, and then there's, you know, more distance here, but the carpet could just curl up and hide away up there. So what I have to do is cut this 12 foot wide roll into 6 foot wide roll, and then the other half could cover the wall, because it also needs a 6 foot wide piece. And then I'll have to go back when I'm ready, when I get the other wall ready, and get another piece, and it's going to I have to cut it in half just like this one, and the other half will be for the floor, and we'll do that. What I might do is save the other half of this one for the floor, because it's 16 feet long, because I only need about 13 or 14 feet for the wall, so I could save a couple bucks there. So what I'm going to do now is drop the tailgate, and because it's so fun, I'm going to show you how that works. Do this right. Get the button. It's only raining a little. And I'll drag this thing out on my tailgate and use it to cut this roll of cut this roll of carpet, and I'll just use a razor knife and unroll half of it and leave the other half on the roll. That's how I decided to do this, and then I'll put the other half away in safekeeping while I'm working with this. Now, getting this carpet on the ceiling is just going to be a nightmare, I'm afraid. So wish me luck on that, and hopefully by the end of this video I'll have figured out a way to do it. Again, I can staple it in some places, but other places it might not be appropriate. I'm not sure. But let's get her cut, and let's just get started, and the only way we're going to figure out how to do it is to do it. Here we go. Well, it wasn't easy, but I got that thing cut in two. Ended up I was going to leave one half of it all rolled up in the shrink wrap, and just cut one off of it, and that just didn't work. It was the machine that rolled it up to where it was kind of started off kind of a cone looking, so it varied too much. I kept measuring to make sure I was keeping on 6 feet, and I realized I couldn't keep it on 6 feet with the way I was doing it. So unwrapped the whole thing and fought it all the way, but we got it cut, pretty good shape. Now comes the interesting part. I'm gonna have to see how to get this thing stuck up towards the ceiling and see how I'm gonna hold it. Make some sticks, brooms, I don't know, but nothing to it but to do it. So I'll get her hauled up there and see what happens. Okay, this carpet is incredibly heavy and not cooperating very well. It's kind of stiff too, but I got a good idea. I'm gonna go to Lowe's and grab some 2x3s and set them on top of the wall. Just cut them the width of this thing and set one on this side and set one on this side, and put about 5 or 6 of them all the way down. So I'll get under the carpet, I'll push it up, I'll put the 2x3 in place, come back a few feet, put another one, come back a few feet, put another one, etc. And that'll get the whole thing elevated above my head. I can position it side to side, and yeah, that'll work. So let's go do that. What would be very tempting is to take my dad's truck, which I just picked up from the paint shop on Tuesday. Isn't it pretty? But heavens no, I don't want to put a scratch in it. I'm not taking it, so I'll be back in a little bit. Oh yeah, from Alaska. So we got some 2x3s, we cut them to length, and yeah, that was a good idea. Now we can work with it. So it's just sitting on top of the 2x3s. The 2x3s are just sitting on top of the wall. And that wasn't too bad. I don't know how else we're going to do this, but this is, I think, is going to work. Now I got to try this adhesive. So this is what was suggested, that I use indoor-outdoor carpet adhesive. It's even marine rated for putting carpet on your boat deck. So, I got a couple clips holding this thing in front. It'll allow me to center the carpet left and right. And I can let this front piece fall, get in there and do the glue thing, and then spread it. How can I show this? Spread it from, this guy forward. And then, I don't know what. This is not going to be easy, but we'll figure it out. So, let me, I also can staple this thing a little bit too, so I should get a little bit of this glue out and spread it up there and see what I've got. See what it'll hold, and go from there. I could still leave these boards in, and maybe I could even put some blocks underneath the wall so I can shove them up and they fit tight. You know what I mean? Fit tight to the ceiling, which right now there's, an inch or two gap in there or something. Okay, well, it's progress. It's slow progress, but it's progress. Let's continue, and I'll check back with you when I figure out how this glue is going to work. If it's going to stick the carpet to the ceiling without it falling, or will it need mechanical means of support? Let's find out. Well, spreading carpet glue upside down isn't the most fun thing in the world to do, but I do have it spread. I'm trying to just let it air for a little bit, dry just a little bit, so I have a better chance of it sticking. And right now it's still pretty, my drops, still pretty liquidy, so I rounded up some staplers and stuff. I'll show you those here in a second. But I'll tell you, getting the glue out of the bucket with this, the notched trowel, and getting it to the ceiling without it falling all over, sucks. It didn't work very well. So what I ended up doing is grabbing the gloves and just goop it out with your hand and smear it on the ceiling, and then come back with a notched trowel and knock it down. And that worked so much better. So that's the tip I'm going to give you for this whole glue and stuff to the ceiling thing. I don't think I dripped hardly anything once I did that, but it was just falling all over. I was expressing myself as that was happening, and anyway, it wasn't that fun. So I'm just letting that stuff dry before I try to stick it up there, and I will be able to staple it a little bit. Let me show you some staplers just for kicks, because we got some time. I do some upholstery. Yes, I have a couple upholstery staplers. This is just my little stapler. Upholstery staplers have this little extension. It really allows you to get into little nooks and crannies in chairs and ottomans and automotive things that you're doing, boat seats and all that. Different than some other staplers, this thing works pretty good. These shoot a wire staple. Will you focus? These are little shorties. These are just 1/4 inch, but you can see how fine they are. I'm trying to find something that'll focus on. Anyway, little wire staples. And these are short ones, so I usually keep shorties in my little gun. This medium-sized gun is also a upholstery stapler. Shoots wire staples just the same. These will shoot the same staples. I just keep longer ones. And this stapler, and this one like you can get at the big box stores, it also shoots kind of wire staple, but they're heavier duty. If you were joining wood or something, they get these in different lengths, like even like 1.5 inches. So from short to 1.5 inches. I don't think I'll use that one. I think we'll use this one, with these are probably 1/2 inch wire staples, and that should just do fine to tack the carpet up there. So I hear my compressor's done, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my arrows and start pushing that carpet up to the ceiling and throw a few staples in it to hold it and hope it works. Wish me luck. Be right back. Well, I knew it's going to be a pain in the butt, and it isn't got any easier. Going to be a slow process, so this is obviously all I'm going to get done this weekend. So I think the glue's finally sticking. I've got all 3 of these boards, put some shims under them to prop them all the way up tight. As tight as they can anyway. I moved this one forward because to get to where my glue started. There's no glue on this side. It's just hanging. So, just give them a final check. Now I've got the roof vent right here. So I put a staple on 4 sides of it, the roof vent. Looks like it's all hanging in there pretty good. Except maybe this front piece. I don't know what to think of that front piece. I'm gonna the staples aren't really gonna show. I think we'll drive a couple more in there for fun, kicks and giggles, whatever. Yeah. So, I think we're going to end the video here because this is not going to get done anytime soon. I'm going to have to do this in pieces to really make it right. So, I'm going to take this pieces at a time. That's all I really can do. I have the carpet centered in the truck and not crooked and all that, so that when I get all the way to the end, it's not off to one side, I hope. So it should be good there. But I really need to get this carpet up on the ceiling. The walls will be a piece of cake, you know, because they just hang. And that's no big deal. It's not like they're trying to fall off all the time. But so it'll be easy. I'll have to move this stuff, but I knew that. It's just kind of sitting there. Then we'll get the walls done. I'm going to come back and make some trim. You can see how crooked that is. And that's crooked because when I drove some Tech screws in on the window, it drove the skin out because the Tech screws didn't go through the framing. But I just didn't fix it. It was a really hot summer day. I didn't fix it. I just need to pull some Tech screws out, drill some holes, put Tech screws back in, and the siding will straighten up. It still has a little bit of a bow in it. That's the way it was designed. But then I'll come back after the carpet's in and we'll make some trim for those. Make some trim for the roof vents as well. But if I get this carpet up on the ceiling and then I can get the walls done, that's easy. And then I can get these corner pieces put in, then we can put the lights in. So that's the goal. And it was progress. It wasn't a lot of progress. But you know, some days are just like that. You just got to roll with it. Thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing. We'll obviously do an update on this thing in a week or two. And we'll go from there. Thank you guys.